It's cause for celebration right now here at the Cardinal Companion, all around the Louisville fan base. Finally, after the highs and the lows of it, Jeff BROHM has signed his new contract extension with the University of Louisville. He will be your football coach for a long time. Roll the film. Good morning or good afternoon. Welcome on into the Cardinal Companion. As always, I'm your main man, Josh, hosted by my friend James. James, how excited are we right now? Because I'm pretty dang excited.
It was kind of a day we knew had been coming. We were kind of like, I think we both thought this would come earlier than it has. There was talks of this coming late December, but what a day it has been, not just with the Jeff news, but other news as Cardinals fans, I'm sure, have heard. But this video, we want to really kind of just discuss and break down the ins and outs of what is this new deal for Jeff BROHM.
Yeah, before we start talking about the actual deal itself, I think it's very fair to kind of talk about what led us to this point. You know,
Yeah.
if we have some newer Louisville fans in here, or maybe just someone, that doesn't follow this kind of stuff every day on social media or wherever they get their news for Louisville. Realistically, going even, I would say, is back to 2025. Jeff BROHM was severely underpaid at the University of Louisville. He was in the bottom half of the ACC, and we always saw these lists every single offseason saying, hey, this guy's one of the top 25 head coaches in college football, based off of his resume. And really that all kind of came to head this year. We had the crazy coaching carousel that was this past offseason with, I believe the final total was 14 Power 5 schools coming open. Does that sound correct?
I think 14 Power 5 schools and four of the 10 most valuable jobs in America were open.
Exactly. It was pretty wild there for a little bit. And because of that, Jeff BROHM was really a hot candidate there for a hot minute. Getting serious interest, I would say, from Penn State and Michigan, obviously. But what people don't know, getting interest from schools like Florida when those jobs came open.
He was in Florida's final three. And they had reached out multiple times over the course of their search that started semi-early into the 2025 season.
Yeah, so, Jeff BROHM, hot commodity throughout this cycle. And I can tell you firsthand from doing a lot of live shows on Twitter, some Twitter spaces, which if you want to check out those live shows, our Twitter page will be linked right here. So check it out. A lot of those live shows with a few of my friends that also cover UofL, and it felt like we were going live every single night there for about 2 weeks straight during the Christmas season. Jeff really linked to the Penn State opening. A lot of interest and mutual interest, might I add. Linked to Michigan in some form. It couldn't be debated on how far those conversations went, but from what I know, they were pretty dang serious. And Jeff BROHM, the whole time, he told the athletic director at Louisville, Josh Hurd, he said, hey, I'm a Louisville guy. Obviously, I'm born here, raised here, played here. This is my city, and I don't want to leave, but you have to do a little bit more for me, because I'm getting these offers. The big one is the Penn State one that we all go back to, where, if he would have accepted the Penn State offer, Jeff BROHM would be a top 10 paid coach right now in college football. And Jeff, he turns down those job offers, and it's kind of been the talk of the offseason now for the past 4 months of, hey, where's the extension? Where's the extension? What's going on with this? And, we did a video 2 weeks ago kind of highlighting a major impasse in that extension, a verbal altercation between Jeff BROHM and Josh Hurd, that put a lot of things a question. And to be able now where we have a UofL board meeting this morning and it's approved, it's just feel good for everybody, in my opinion. And this is exactly what this football program needs, is stability. And this gives you that long-term stability. And this is what we need. I can't say it any better than that.
It kind of goes down to the nitty-gritty of the modern athletic department, kind of where everybody in America is having to go. where college football is your primary revenue driver, and that's for any school, not just Louisville. That's across the board. If you look at schools like Penn State, their biggest profit was from college football, and it's more a need for sustainability to be able to really put an emphasis on college football. And I think you're seeing Louisville actually commit to that with this decision.
I agree, and I think that's the smartest move that the University of Louisville can make right now. But James, it's a really smart move if you're a YouTube viewer?
What is it?
It's a smart move if you like this video, leave us a comment saying how excited you are for this Jeff BROHM extension, and subscribe. When you subscribe to this page, you get completely free content 24/7, 365, talking about all things University of Louisville football, talking a little bit ACC football, SEC football, all around the South. You never know what you'll see. Like and subscribe. Great method. Helps us, helps you. Get your content easy. Get your content free. Subscribe down below. Now that we've done that, let's talk a little bit about this contract a little bit, though, shall we?
Let's get into it.
So the first thing, this, as with most contracts that are now signed, these numbers progressively get bigger every single year due to inflation and whatnot. That's typical in any single job sector. Going into 2026, Jeff BROHM will be making $6.3 million. That'll raise to 7.2 in 27, 7.3 in 28, 7.4 in 29, 7.5 2030, 7.6 31, 7.7 32, 7.8 33. The whole graphic's right here, so you guys can read along. Do you think this is good value on Jeff BROHM?
So me and you have kind of had multiple discussions about this, along with some of the other guys throughout the offseason. So as we've touched on, Jeff was severely underpaid. He was in the bottom quadrant of the ACC in terms of head coaches. I still think Jeff could have gotten more. He left some on the table, but overall, I think it's a fair deal for the university. And Jeff was never going to just take as much as he can. He has a lot of love for the city and the university. I feel like it's a fair deal with kind of bonuses built in that could lead to a higher total.
No, I completely agree. I think this is Jeff BROHM working with the university in a fair way. I'm not trying to speak for Jeff BROHM or the BROHM family, but if you know anything about Jeff BROHM, the man's not really concerned that much about money. Go look at what car he drives. This just kind of tracks in line. I think you could still make the argument that yes, Jeff BROHM is underpaid. I think Jeff BROHM realistically could go out and get $11 million in this market, maybe even $12 million every single day.
Mhm.
But to kind of cut Louisville's sweetheart deal here, I love to see, and it just really tracks with the character of Jeff BROHM. That is what we've seen his entire time here, and his entire career, really. So yeah. Going along with that, though, we're gonna start talking about a couple of bonuses. The first one we're gonna bring up is these retention bonuses, which are on the screen next to me, right next to us, right now. Pretty easy. $250,000 retention bonus in 26, $750,000 in 27, and then $1 million annually from 28 to 32. What's your initial thoughts on that?
Jeff deserves it more than anybody. His commitment to the city and the university, he deserves kind of some assurances, and he doesn't need the money, obviously, but it's just an add-on with him taking more of a sweetheart deal to give him a little bit more money on the backside of the deal.
Exactly. And then kind of continuing on with this conversation, now we're going to talk about some performance incentives. And some of these have been changed a little bit, from his previous contract. This is where I think it's really interesting, kind of what you hit on, that a lot of this is performance-based. So no longer gets a bonus for 6 wins a season. That's pretty cool. $0 now, used to be $100,000. When he makes a Tier 1 bowl game, he's going to get $250,000. Tier 1 bowl games are bowl games similar to the Holiday Bowl, Sun Bowl, Gator Bowl. Am I missing one for the ACC?
They readjusted
The
that.
Cheez-It Bowl, whatever that's called.
They readjusted that.
Oh, did they?
I think the ACC only has two
What is
Tier
it?
1 bowls, and I think it's the Pop-Tart Bowl and the Holiday Bowl.
Really? Sun Bowl's not a Tier 1 anymore.
I think they're shuffling it
Wow.
down to Tier 2. If I read that article right.
Wow.
But
Okay. That's interesting. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Or I guess not cool, but when he wins the ACC now, he made some extra $250,000, which is kind of interesting. If he wins Coach of the Year for the ACC or on a national viewpoint, he's going to get $50,000 for each of those. Pretty cool. And then he'll get some bonuses here and there for academic benchmarks, overall player GPA, that side of things, all ACC honors, whatnot. I guess, what's your, just for performance, I think it's pretty cut and dry. You hit on it a lot, but it seems like they got some big plans here for Louisville football that we're not giving out money anymore for 6 wins.
That's what happens whenever football becomes
Standards kind of going up, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what this is a move that a program that's making football a priority makes. It's not just a priority to football; it's a priority to high level football. It's the expectations aren't just to make a bowl every year. You're expected to get to the ACC championship game every year here, or at least be in contention. And Jeff's kind of built that over the course of his 3 years here, 28-12, 6-2 in bowl games, 2-1 since he's gotten here. 3 wins over 3 different top 10 teams. He's proven he can win here. It's just now the university's given him the proper resources to compete with some of the top end of the ACC.
And now, so this is where it gets interesting, as you can see on the screen. These playoff incentives, these are not one-time bonuses. These are permanent salary increases going forward. This is pretty cool stuff. When you make the college football playoff, we're going to start paying you an extra $500,000 per season. If you make the quarterfinal, you get an extra $1 per season. Semi, 1.25. Championship game, if you just make it, you get 1.5. You win the national title, you're getting an additional $2 million every single year. Here's the fun thing with this. Let's say literary Louisville, 2026. They make the college football playoff. They make it to the quarterfinal. Jeff Brohm gets an extra $1 million going into 27. Then in 28, little old Louisville, they make it to the semifinal. Get an extra 1.25 million. Now you're seeing an increase of 2.25 million over 2 seasons. Year 3, and it keeps going on and on and on. So the more success that Jeff Brohm has here, more money he's going to make. He's got an opportunity to make a lot of money very quickly.
Yeah, I completely agree. The playoff kind of deals, the way it's broke, it kind of leads to, it goes back to what we were saying. It's allowing Jeff opportunity to just do what he does best and to be one of the best coaches in the country and get compensated for that. He has a team that could make the playoffs this year. He had some really good resources. They got everybody they wanted in the portal. We touched on that in our video. If you want to go watch in the comments in the description, but you're gonna see that like it's I think it's roughly 8 to 8.5 a year base salary now. But I expect that to be a much higher number here in a couple of years.
Yeah. Now we're going to get into talking about the things that people don't like to talk about. Let's talk about some buyouts. The first one that we have up here on the screen, this is if Louisville fires Jeff Brohm, which that's be cold day in hell, be quite honest with you. Off of his current deal, if he is fired, he's on 100% of his remaining salary. Now, going forward, if he is fired before December 1st, 2029, he is owed 90% of his salary up front, and then 100% is owed after that date, if that makes sense. That is only if Louisville fires him. So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Going along now with the next thing on the screen, this is if Jeff Brohm leaves for any reason, if he goes to another job, if he wants to walk away from football, whatever the case may be. Well, I guess really if he wants another job.
Yeah.
If he wants another job, the university is, if he leaves before December 31st, 2027, the university is only owed $3 million. After that date, the university is owed $1 million. That makes a lot of people nervous, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. That is an insanely low buyout number.
Yeah.
That buyout number is lower than every single buyout that occurred of an SEC school hiring an American Athletic Conference coach this year. That's really low, ain't it, James?
Yes.
Why in the right mind would Josh Hurd sign that kind of deal with Jeff Brom?
It's one of those. I understand more from Jeff's perspective. It's a way to keep the university and everything, and keep pre-existing promises a little bit more tight and secure. With a lower buyout, it makes the university be a little bit more hesitant to break promises to Jeff.
In the current day of NIL, I understand. If you're Jeff Brom, I understand. It's a good deal for Jeff Brom, and I think for the University of Louisville, you're putting a lot of trust here in Jeff Brom. Now, with Jeff Brom, I think Jeff Brom has earned that trust, based off the most recent hiring cycle in 25 into 26, all the uncertainty we saw during the carousel and whatnot. I think Jeff Brom has earned that trust, but that is not a deal that you give 99% of college head coaches at your
Yeah.
university. It's a lot of trust in Brom, and I think Brom has earned that trust, and I think it's a good deal for Brom because he does, like you said, get to hold people accountable if certain agreed upon terms are not met.
Yeah, and I think Jeff's done.
And then the last
Jeff and
little, oh sorry,
Jeff and his family are etched in Louisville lore forever, regardless of what happens with whether this came to fruition or not. So the Brahms are Louisville football. They just are. They've been around it their whole lives. If anybody deserves a deal like this, it would be Jeff.
I completely agree. Completely agree. Give this deal to Jeff Brom, maybe not Bobby Petrino. Let's put it that way. And then last little piece of the puzzle here that's up on the screen here, just some other little notable miscellaneous pieces. His staff salary pool is increased by $750,000. Great thing to see. Wish that was a little bit more, but that's me, football guy, talking. Just being honest. It's good. It's a good start. Let's look into it more in the future, getting that number up a little bit more. And that includes funding for assistants, recruiting, strength staff, all that good stuff. Any extracurriculars you need on your roster that's not a coach. There's a couple of more little miscellaneous bonuses for top 25 finishes, participation in the ACC title game, and again, academic performance, as we already hit on. So do with that as you will. All in all, though, and first off, I want to give Eric Crawford a massive shout out. All these graphics that I put up on the screen, those are coming directly from his Twitter account. He has been super on top of reporting on all this for WDRB. So honestly, hats off to you, Eric. Love your content. Love everything you do. Super nice guy. Just wanted to give props to you on all these graphics. But yeah, I mean, this is a good deal. I really think this is a good deal all around. I think this is really showing you that, hey, we are Louisville football. We're taking this thing seriously. This is the driving force for our athletic department. Jeff Brom, you are our guy. You are the most important resource here at the University of Louisville. Let's invest into you. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and roughly in the grand scheme of things, this will be a 8 year, $64.3 million extension. So yeah, so I mean the assistant pool, it goes from 5.5 million to 6.25 million, however you want to equate that. I'm happy as someone that's been called a Jeff Brom guy by certain radio personalities and pushing Jeff Brom agendas. I'm happy. So I can't complain too much. Obviously there are some NIL, assurances made in these sort of deals in modern college football, and it was not made public, and I do not blame the university for not making that public because that really doesn't anyone any good.
Yeah. Then today's a win for Louisville. It's a win for Louisville, not just Louisville football. It's a win for Louisville basketball, Louisville baseball. The more successful the football team is, the more money that goes around everywhere. It's just a reality in modern college athletics. Football is the biggest revenue. It's a powerhouse compared to every other sport. Today's a win. I think you'll see this kind of trickle down to other sports just as success kind of filters in on the football side of things. And in addition, some other changes that came out of the board meeting, which we'll touch on later on in additional videos. A lot of positive news coming out of Floyd Street today.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice day. It's a great day to be a Cardinal. And as always, James, if you enjoyed this content and you are already watching here at the 20-ish minute mark, why not go ahead and subscribe? You've made it this far. You obviously like hearing about this kind of stuff, and we talk about this stuff on a weekly basis. So drop us a like, give us a little comment, tell us how excited you are about this Jeff ROM extension. And while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe to the page and turn on notifications. Makes your life easier. Lets me give you free content, which everybody wants free. We all want to save a couple of dollars in this day and age.
Today's a win. Today's a win for the I just follow up. Today's a win for everybody. It's a win for Jeff. It's a win for the athletic department. I believe it's a fair deal for both sides, and I think it provides the football program the best chance for success into the future, while allowing room for growth within the athletic department.
It is. And a little spoiler for the next video. Might be some big donors coming back. But we'll leave you guys with that one. Certain somebody might be in the house again. Go Cards, and we will catch you guys next time.
Go Cards.